Good morning. It is April 27th, Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. I'm here at the Laughing Heart Hostel and trying to do the last little bit of drying out my tarp. And there's a couple folks camped out here. Plan this morning is to stop by the outfitter here in Hot Springs, get my resupply box, maybe look at some raincoat options, and then get back on the trail. Man, weatherman knows all the tricks.
Happy die, gentlemen. Here. Happy trails, guys.
Work it, dog, work it. Kenny giving it a whirl.
Rain pants.
There you go.
9:33. Leaving the hostel, had a wonderful experience there, and headed downtown to check out the outfitter, pick up my box, get resupplied, and get back on trail this morning. It's in 27, and this Bluff Mountain Outfitters, this guy is fantastic. He's got an awesome selection in there, and good, gear selection, good food selection. Plus, he's a super good dude. I totally recommend, if you come through Hot Springs, to check them out. They're friendly to hikers, and it's been a great stop. All right, Hot Springs, I love you, but I have to get out of here. So, 1951. Man, this bridge has been here for a while. I'm gonna follow the AT and keep moving on. Hot Springs is a great place to zero, but I don't have time for a zero. Got to get up to Irwin so I can see my baby. Whew, backpack is heavy. So I broke down and bought an umbrella. See it poking out back there. I got a Six Moves Designs umbrella this time. My wife was gonna bring me my umbrella when I get to see her in Irwin, but I kind of jumped the gun. Had a good deal on one here at the resupply, or at the outfitter here in Hot Springs, so I went on and pulled the trigger on it. So happy to have that back in my kit. So here we go, following the AT and getting back underway. Feet are feeling good today. They've had a rest and got them cleaned up, cut my toenails and all that good stuff. Oh wow, they have a knock here too. It's perfect. Madison County, North Carolina. All right. Follow the blazes. Check this little guy out. He's bathing next to the river, sunbathing. Oh, you don't like me. Here is Lover's Leap above Hot Springs. Such a cool spot. Found a nice shady soft spot here, and I'm going to take a quick break and do a little self-care. It's hot and dry. My feet are really dry, so I'm going to try and do some preventative maintenance. I found an MSR groundhog over here too, so that's good luck. All right, so here's what I've got. This really dry, rocky ground has cracked my skin on my toes. I had this happen a little bit in Georgia, and I was able to doctor it up in the hotel. Boy, the butterfly really likes my bandages. So what I've done is I just took some antibiotic cream and put in the cracks to try and keep them wet. And then I have put some little bandage things on my toes to try and keep it wet, to allow some healing underneath the cracks. And I'm going to hike with that for a little bit. It probably won't last. This rig probably won't last a mile, but it'll help a little bit. I have kind of neglected moisturizing my feet over the last few days, and I thought that the rain would do enough, but it didn't. So that's one thing that I have to really watch, is I have to keep my toes, especially my big toes, moisturized. Otherwise they'll crack, and it is very, very painful. It gets down to where you're feeling every single step, every single little rock. So it's not fun. It's what happened on the way into Hot Springs yesterday and on the way out this morning. So I'm going to try and stay ahead of that and this week and do a little better job of it. So I ended up sitting for about an hour and a half editing video, talking to my wife, spread all my gear and let it dry, did a little preventative maintenance on my feet, and I'm just now getting back on trail. It's like 3:45, so I suspect today is going to be a very short day. It's a real nice view of the river below. I should have zeroed today. The pads of my feet are swollen and they're so sensitive I can't hardly move. I would have been better off to just zero, let my feet have a rest and heal, and then take off, because I'm getting nowhere. But there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, so I just got to keep moving forward. I've got 1.1 miles to the next water source, and of course I'm out of water. And I think, ouch, once I get there, I'm going to soak my feet for a little while, and I think that'll really help. So for anyone thinking about barefoot hiking, this is something that you need to know. You can overstimulate the nerves in the soles of your feet, and when you do that, it's not a fun experience. Usually you can soak them. You can literally just step in a stream and it's almost like hitting the reset button. In this case, it's a little bit further than that, because the pads of my feet are a little bit swollen from yesterday and day before, where I've been just beating on them on all these little bitty rocks. They're really sensitive. They're asking for a break, and I wasn't smart enough to listen and take the day off today. Instead, I'm going to end up with very, very low mileage today and a painful experience. But at least I won't have spent any more money in town, and I'm a little further down the trail, so there's that. Oh, much better. Here's a little patch of relief. It's just leaves and cool dirt, and it's not in the sun. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm certainly going to enjoy it. I made it to the water source, and what a gift. Right out of the side of the mountain. Oh, I'm gonna drink up. I'm sitting here at that water source for well over an hour. I don't know, maybe 2 hours, but it's like 6:30 now. I've been sitting there resting. I drank a bunch of water and filled up my stuff. Talked with my wife on the phone for a while, and I just haven't been super motivated today. My feet are starting to feel better. That's good. And my goal at this point is just to get up the trail a little bit more and find a spot with some good sleeping and hopefully some cell phone signal, and then just hang it up for the day. And I'll try to do a proper hiking day tomorrow and just mark today as a Nero, because I think I've only done like 3.7 miles or something like that from Hot Springs, which is just totally a waste. I should have just zeroed. But I would have spent probably another $100 in town by the time I ate a couple times and had a few drinks, and then probably would have stayed at the hostel for another night. So it works out. It's been a good day. I got some healing done. I ended up coming a little more up the trail and found this great little spot right here. And there's leaves. I've got cell phone signal. I'm all alone out here. That's pretty great. There's no widowmakers really. So I think I'm just gonna park right here for the night. So I found a place here where I want to sleep. I don't really want to disturb any more of the vegetation around. So I just moved some of the leaves from over there and a few from down there, and I made myself a big bed here. I'm going to put my Dyneema sheet on top of that, and that should make me a nice warm bed to sleep on. Warm, comfortable bed to sleep on. And I think I'm just going to cowboy camp, because I don't think there's any chance of rain tonight. And I'll have a beautiful view of the stars. There's a shot of my bed for tonight. My nice plush leaf-filled mattress, and it's actually pretty comfortable. Normally don't have time to do this, but shoot, I'm gonna take it tonight. Haven't had a fire or any of that business since I've been on the trail, so I figured, what the heck? I got such a great little spot. It's so easy. Why not? Whippoorwill concert all night long. Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 28th. It is 6:45. Slept like a baby last night on my leaf bed, and got my food bag down. I'm gonna get some coffee, get packed up, and try and make some good miles today. Feeling great. 7:53, and there's where I slept last night. My plush oak leaf bed. So for reference, this morning I started at mile 278.8, which I stayed at a campsite that was probably 3/4 of a mile past, I think it was Pump Gap. So sometime yesterday I passed mile 275, which is awesome. Glad to be this far along. Can't believe I'm this far along. It's crazy. But looks like I've been blessed this morning with a little bit of easy walking to get started, get warmed up. And I plan to try and get in a good day today and make up for my slackery yesterday. This is neat. Looks like a big concrete dam or something. This thing is full of life too. I walked up, a bunch of stuff, frogs, turtles and stuff started jumping off of the shore. Very neat. Every day on this trail is an adventure. I love it. There's some vehicles parked over there. This wet grass this morning feels amazing. Doing a little bit of road walking. This is good though. It's like packed sand with a few rocks in it. It's pretty great. Coming up the trail, and this gentleman leaned out the camper and he said, "Hey, are you a thru hiker?" I says, "Yeah." And he fixed me up with some trIl.magic, some vegan trIl.magic even. So what's your name again, sir?
Onesimus, the ice cream dude.
All right. Well, how long have you been doing trIl.magic?
This is 10 years with this camper.
That is awesome. And you said that you have done a thru hike?
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Thank you very much. You have brightened my morning for sure.
All right, cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Whew, thank you, Onesimus. That made my morning, man. All right, we got a little road walk up through here. Fortunately, it's nice, sandy, hard-packed, sandy surface, so a little bit of gravel mixed in. Such a beautiful day. Off to a good start this morning. Okay, short road walk. And then we go right back in the woods again. 10 a.m. Doing good, eating breakfast, and I already killed the Oreos and the banana from the trIl.magic. But and I'm throwing some oatmeal on top of it. Passed a couple folks this morning. Crunchy and the Beast were going the opposite direction. Had a nice little conversation with them at a water source. I passed 30 Mile. Her sister was headed back to Hot Springs. Her sister came out and did 10 miles with her yesterday. I met 30 Mile once on the trail. She blew past me. Met her once in town, and I'll probably never see her again, I'm sure. And then just Andrew. Met him the other day coming into Hot Springs, and then got to talk with him a little bit in Hot Springs. Just a good guy. Had breakfast with him, coffee at the hostel. He stayed an extra day, and now he's back. He's already caught up to me and passed me, so he turns big miles. Probably won't see him again either. We might stop at the same place today. We'll see, because I've got a few miles on him because of my slackery yesterday, and then the little bit I've done this morning. So we'll see what happens. There's a beautiful water source. Water's just flowing right out of the mountain. Somebody has piped it to make it easy to get to. It's clean and new. Beautiful. I purposely had not talked about goals today because I kind of wanted to see how I was feeling and how I was doing. And so I'm still not up to 100%, but I'm doing okay. So I think I'm going to loosely set my goal to a Little Laurel shelter today. And that would put me a little over 15 miles. And I have 10.5 miles to go. It is 12:30. So we'll see how it goes. The tree's eating the sign. Here's the Spring Mountain Shelter. So I've been thinking all day. I think it's time to go lighter on my pack. I've got a deal in the works to get a Zimmer built from a kid. It doesn't have a waist belt on it, and he doesn't like it because he can only carry like 3 days worth of food. That's all I ever really carry is 3 to 4 days worth of food. And that pack weighs 9 ounces, whereas mine weighs a pound and 10 ounces. So I'm going to lose some weight there. And plus he's getting another guy's backpack. And then I'm going to buy his. And I've also been thinking about my kit and lightening the load and just getting down to the bare essentials. And I've been thinking about, you know, Evan's backpacking videos, Jupiter hikes, Lent hikes, and basically the kit that they use. And it's very similar to what I'm using, only that I'm carrying a few extra items that I need to get rid of. I want to get rid of my stove. Coffee is really the main reason why I'm keeping the stove around. And that's not a good one. I could drink coffee cold, or I can just simply quit the habit altogether, which would be ideal. I've been wanting to do that for a long time anyway. So anyway, the stove is going. I've only used my water filter one time on this entire trip, so I think it's time for it to go. I'm going to replace it with probably a Visine bottle full of bleach. Think of me what you will. I brought a few extra clothes items. I brought an extra pair of shorts and an extra pair of underwear. Have not touched them. They're going home. Let's see, my ditty bag. There's a few things in my ditty bag that are going home. I'll be able to save several ounces there because I've got redundancies since I bought that little Swiss Army knife. Now I'm carrying a pair of scissors and a pair of tweezers that I don't need to be carrying because the knife has them, both those items on there. I will keep my nail clipper because that's something that I use often. Let's see what else. I have an extra Frog Togs rain jacket. That needs to go home. The other thing is my base layer stuff. It's getting warmer now and I don't really think I need it. I have a 21,000 milliamp Anchor battery that I'm carrying in the hip belt of my bag. I'm going to move that into my fanny pack. That'll take weight off of my backpack and eliminate really the need for the waist pack, the waist belt. Something else too is I loosened the waist belt earlier and just experimented, and I think I prefer no waist belt because I can move my back more. My back moves more when I walk. I think overall I'll probably be less sore if I do that. The other area is sleeping pad. As you guys know, I started with the 1/8 inch Gossamer Gear torso length sleeping pad. I did just fine. I had a 26-degree night with it. Was able to stay nice and toasty warm because of site selection. I'm thinking that the 3/8 of an inch torso length pad that I picked up, I think it's going to go home too. A few other items. I've got oven bags for my snow system. Those are going home. I may keep one to keep my sandals wrapped in so it doesn't get any of my other gear dirty. So I also have 2 pairs of socks. I have like a pair of fleece tabby socks to sleep in, and I have a pair of darn tough merino wool socks. I'm thinking I may keep the merino wool and send the other ones home. But basically I'm realizing that I'm carrying more stuff than I need to. And I know that you can get down to 6.5 pound base weight, even 7 pounds. You know, the more that I have on my back, the more pressure it puts on the soles of my feet, pushing down on the rocks. And I think I'd be much more comfortable with less weight. Right now I've got an excess amount of food that I left Hot Springs with, and it's I have not had fun carrying it. So that's what's really got me thinking about it. I know I can slim and trim my base weight now that I'm out of the Smokies and into some better weather, and I think it's time to do it. So one more thought on the backpack stuff. One other thing I'd like to experiment, especially when I don't have a hip belt, is where like I need to pack my food in my bag, how it affects the way that it feels on my shoulders. I need to experiment with that a little bit. Right now I'm putting all the heavy food stuff right up on the top, and I think there's room for improvement there, especially, you know, as the weight goes down, then the dynamics are going to change. I like to experiment with it and find the optimal solution for this trip. It's about 6:30 now, and I have only gone 12 miles today. Not quite what I had planned to do. That's okay. Well, there's a nice little camping spot right there. So Clicks and Teach and President all passed me recently. We stopped at a water source back there and talked. And they talked about going down here and crossing the road and then finding a spot to set up. So I'm thinking pretty seriously about joining them and just calling it a night. I'm about 3 miles shy of the shelter. I just got some trIl.magic, a banana and 2 avocados, Kodak and Rainbow. We're down here next to the road, and he takes old-timey black and white Kodak images, and he is Rainbow's a support driver, and he is doing the trail carrying his camera gear and taking photographs on the trail and writing a book about the Appalachian Trail. So they took my photograph and gave me some trIl.magic. Pretty happy about that. And they're hoping to encounter Nimble Will Nomad, and get a picture with him. So the guys went on up the hill to find a spot to hammock, and President decided to park right here. So actually picked a really good spot. Lots of pine needles. This is like the perfect sleeping spot. So I think I'm gonna hang out right here and just spend the night right here. Good morning. It is 7:35, Thursday, April 29th, and I realized that I forgot to film last night. Basically what happened is I started up the hill looking for the gang, and President had stopped, and then Clicks and Teach kept moving on to find a good hammock spot. And basically this looked like where she had stopped here looked like a perfect spot to camp, and turns out it was. Ended up sleeping right here. I just cowboy camped, enjoyed the pine needles and the leaves. I'm getting packed up here and ready to get moving again, and I got to make my way towards Irwin. All right, 7:48. Getting down the trail. That's a fairly early start. I'm happy with it. Really good night's sleep last night. I cowboy camped, but then this morning early for 2 or 3 minutes it started to rain, and or maybe it was dew, I'm not sure, but I felt some water on my face, and then I realized that my bag was a little bit wet, and I grabbed my tarp and frantically unpacked it and put it over me, just to make sure everything stayed dry. So my stuff is a little bit wet. I'll get it out later on today sometime. It's a good excuse to take a break for a few minutes, dry it all out. But getting a good start this morning. Going to be uphill for quite a ways. I like that. It's a good warm-up, and my body feels best going uphill. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Starting at mile 289.9. So we're gonna hit 300 today. I'm pretty excited about that. And I'd like to get somewhere between 12 and 15 miles today. Ended up with 11 and some change yesterday. Not a great day, but feeling more and more refreshed, so I should be able to start getting back to hitting the higher mileage days. I just passed Clicks and Teach. Turns out they were like probably 200 to 300 yards away from where we were camping. They made it up the hill and found a good spot for hammocks. And Teach cowboy camped as well and was telling me about getting rained on and throwing up his tarp, and then it stopped and raining. So it wasn't just me. I was getting worried there because President didn't. She told me her rainfly wasn't wet at all. It must have just dried out real quick. But at least at least it wasn't a bird pooping on me or something. It actually did rain. I love getting out here and walking first thing in the morning. Watch the sun come up. It's nice and cool. All the birds are chirping and singing. Man, it really starts my day off right. So fortunate to be out here. Well, somebody left some trIl.magic. I think the high this afternoon is supposed to be 80. So it's not too hot yet, but it's getting warm. And I'm still not quite used to it yet. So in the evenings you have what's called a ramen bomb. It's ramen noodles, mashed potatoes, and then whatever else you want to add with it. I vote we have an oatmeal bomb in the morning. Oatmeal, peanut butter, and then whatever else you want to add into it. In my case, trail mix, chia seeds. So why not have an oatmeal bomb? 10:30 and made it to Little Laurel Shelter. This was actually my goal yesterday. Had I been a little more disciplined, I would have made it up here. It's like a nice bare cable system. Looks like a pretty good little shelter. Probably gonna stop here and drink some water and fill up my bottles. So grateful the AT has all these fresh water sources. There's just water coming out of the side of the hill. It's awesome. I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm probably going to drink a liter of water while I'm here and then leave with at least a liter and try and get through the hot day. Had a little break and talked to my wife for a while. It's 11:15 and now I'm rolling again. So I've got to do 25.2 miles between today and tomorrow evening. So from where I am, I have to do 25.2 miles. Rhododendron Alley again. Rain is slowly changing and I'm going up and up and up. I have a feeling there's going to be an awesome view top of this thing. Can't wait. Uh-huh.
And I actually found some in
cool.
the rock, and it was amazing to me. To everyone else, they just looked like little lumps in the rock, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I think geology is awesome.
I definitely enjoyed it. I don't ever use it now.
I had one geology class in college, and I was the only person awake in there.
Yeah.
And like actively paying attention. Yeah. Check it out. Doc caught up, and Noodles is ahead. And let's see, Indy's behind a little bit, but she'll blow by me in the next few minutes, I'm sure. So good to catch up. This area is called Big Fire Scald Knob. And oh my God, wait till you see this. Hey, Sarah.
How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Good. Today's kind of a weird day, no?
Yeah. Oh my God, look at this view.
Yeah, wait, this kind of makes it worth it.
Oh, wait till you get up here. That is Sarah the Machine.
Hello. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. Oh man, this view. I'm gonna just stand here and take it in for a minute. Wow. Okay, so this place is actually called Howard's Rock. And it's dedicated to Howard McDonald, the master trail builder. As of 2015, or he passed in 2015, I'm not sure. Beautiful, look at all the Catawba rhododendron up here. I love them, I'm sorry. And the view all the way around. It's awesome. I love it. I need a bath. Oh man, this makes me so happy to be out here. Awesome. What an awesome day. And the best part is tomorrow night I get to see my wife. Woohoo! Man, I miss her. Some interesting terrain. Climbs back up the other side. We gotta go up through there. So the kid I was talking about meeting up with and buying his pack off of him is right behind me a little ways. So this works out great. So basically I'm getting a smaller, lighter pack. It's a Zimmer built, and he needed something a little more so he could carry more food. So he's giving me a good deal on it. He got another pack, and I'm gonna see if it'll work out for me. I should lose more than a pound of pack weight if I can get all my stuff into it, which I said I'm slimming down anyway. I'm going to be sending a bunch of stuff home with my wife. Guess what? I made it to mile 300. Awesome. Woohoo! Huge accomplishment. Huge accomplishment. I'm going to sit down and spread my stuff out and wait for a lightweight to come down the trail. Alright, well, I've unpacked my stuff and let it dry out. Got a snack, and I've waited here for over an hour, and I think it's time to move on. The kid's behind me, and he's going to make it to the next shelter, so I think I'm going to just head on, and I'll just wait for him there. It was 6:23, and it's taken me exactly 1 hour to get to Jerry's cabin. So we got folks all over the place. Hey, what's up, guys? So I met up with Lightweight, and I got the backpack, and I'm gonna go a couple more miles before I stop for the night. It's gonna rain tonight. It's already been sprinkling a little bit. I was 17.9 miles from Sam's Gap, which is where I intend to meet Betsy tomorrow night. So I wanted to take a little more off of that, make it a little bit easier day before I stop. I've already eaten my dinner. I cold soaked some ramen noodles, put some junk in them, made them taste good, and it wasn't too bad. It's going to take a little bit to get used to, but I think I can do it. I may enjoy hot coffee in the morning for my last day with my stove. 20 after 8 and I'm still walking. There's the Big Butt Bypass Trail. Alright, begin night hiking. This will be the first time on the AT. So figure out, do a little update. It is 10:05 at night. I'm still hiking. Yep, listen to that rain. Good morning. It is Friday, April 30th. I am still underneath the tarp. It's 7:13 in the morning. It rained all night last night, beating driving rain, and I managed to stay dry. The tarp kept me dry. And once again, thank you, Evan Schaefer, for this pitch. I used a couple sticks underneath. There's one down there to hold it up off of me. Tacked it down to the ground. And I didn't do a terrific job, but I did good enough. And this pitch will keep you dry. So anyway, I am pretty lazy this morning. It's cool. Everything's wet outside, and I'm gonna go get my bear bag, make a cup of coffee, and then slowly get moving. I have 13.1 miles to go to Sam's Gap today. Thank you to my late night hiking last night. I shaved over 4 miles off of today. Here's the tarp from the outside view. Here's the trail. I just went right off trail right there. Worked great. Kept me dry. Good stuff. Alright, there's my resting spot for last night. It is 10 a.m. This is probably my latest start on trail so far. Late night last night. But let's get moving. Got 13.1 miles to go to get to Sam's Gap, where we meet the wife, and we're gonna head off to Asheville and do a 0 day tomorrow, followed by a Nero on Sunday. Really looking forward to it. We're going to eat at 9 Mile tomorrow night, which is a Caribbean place. They have a jerk vegetable that is just awesome. Sets my mouth on fire. Love it every time. So everything is wet, soft. Should be smooth sailing today. I'm going to enjoy soaking up some of that sunshine. It's super windy today. Hoping that'll die down a little bit. But by the way, here's a first look at the Zimmerbilt bag. I love the pockets on the outside. The body is really small, and it's got a pocket underneath. This thing weighs nothing. No hip belt at all, which I've been thinking about cutting the hip belt off of my Hyperlite. So I'm excited to see if all my reduced gear volume will fit in there, and I'd really like to take it on the rest of the trip. Should have me, if I do that, I should be in the 6.5 pound range for base weight. That would be totally awesome. Hey there, little guy. I don't think I updated on the mileage yesterday. Ended up being 16.7 miles yesterday, which is exactly the same as my previous best. So you have to factor in, I waited an hour and 15 minutes for the kid at mile 300. Waited for him again at the shelter to get this backpack. I took a couple of little breaks yesterday. So all in all, I thought it was a pretty good day, and I only have to do 13.1 today, of which I have about 10 of, I think, or a little bit over 10 left. So it set me up pretty good for today. Okay, it is 1:41, and I'm coming up. This is Devil's Fork Gap, mile 311.1, and we've got 8.6 to get to Sam's Gap, so moving along pretty good. Looks like we got a few hikers. Look at that beautiful field and all the flowers. And we're fixing to get to go walk through it. Gotta love this trail. I may have said it before, but this is where I belong. I'm hooked on through hiking and just being outside in general. This is where I'm happy. This is where I feel at ease. This is where I feel normal. It's where I feel like I can totally be myself. No fear of judgment. Let's see, so this is Highway 212 West, and there is a hostel nearby. Cool. North Road Crossing. Timmy2Toke at gmail.com for the Laurel Hostel. But we're gonna keep on trucking because we got a goal in mind. Look, man, look at this walk through the field to the flowers. Oh, it doesn't get much better. Those are some happy feet today. I think my trail name should be changed to Squirrel, in reference to the Disney movie, or I'm sorry, the Pixar movie Up. Because every time I turn around, I get distracted from hiking. I just exchanged a couple of words about trilliums back there with some folks. Next thing you know, I stood there for a half an hour blabbing about rhododendrons and mountain laurels and all the different flowers and how I'd like to learn more about them and about foraging. I gotta stay on task today, Scott. Stay on task. The views. That's awesome. Look at that bridge way over there. I'm not sure what road that is. It may be I-26. I think I'm getting fairly close to I-26. I've got 5.3 miles left to get to Sam's Gap, where I meet my wife this evening. All right, it's 20 minutes after 7, and I am descending the last mile. I don't think my wife's going to be to Sam's Gap until about 10 p.m. So that works out just fine because I need some time to sort through some things before I see her. Alright, so here's Sam's Gap, and there's Tennessee over there. On this side is North Carolina. One more quick word. This is where I'm going to leave it off right here. That's the parking lot, and then the Appalachian Trail goes right through there. So I'll pick it back up there Sunday.